Next topic is the use of fundamental and optional classes. And these are the following topics to be covered. First is the predefined or built-in or pre-written methods. Second, the different math class methods. And lastly, the use of characters, strings, and StringBuilder. Let's start with the first one, which is the predefined or built-in or pre-written methods. So they are stored in a package or a library of classes, which is simply a folder that provides a convenient grouping for classes. And it has been categorized into two packages. The first one is the implicitly or automatically imported. So these are the fundamental classes, and Java.lang package is implicitly imported into every program you write. It provides the basis of the Java programming language. So kumbaga, itong implicitly or automatically imported ay kahit na hindi tayo mag-import ng certain packages, automatically maa-access na ng Java program. So we have here the system class wherein it accesses the print and println method. We also have the wrapper classes where integer, float, and double were declared, the math class, character, string, and StringBuilder classes, and the object class wherein it is the topmost class in the class hierarchy. So next one is the explicitly or not automatically imported. So these are optional classes. All other Java packages are available only if you explicitly name them within your program. So ito yung once na in-import natin yung certain packages, saka lang natin maa-access yung mga classes na yon. So for instance, we have java.io. Automatically, we will access the buffered reader class. Same is true with java.util, where scanner, arrays, array list, and random has been part of that package, and javax.swing for JOption pane. Now let's proceed to math class methods. Math class methods contains constants and methods that you can use to perform common mathematical functions and operations. All of the constants and methods in the math class are static, meaning they are class variables and class methods. Therefore, you do not create any math objects when you use the class. So, ginagamit ang math class methods in performing common mathematical functions and operations. So we have the following math class methods. We have that math.abs. So kapag magde-declare tayo or gagamitin natin tong math class methods, kailangan natin yung keyword na math, uppercase yung M, math.the method. So you have to take note also on the parameter, kung isa, dalawa, and so on. Let's first have the abs, having one parameter. So it returns the absolute value of x. So when we say absolute value, it will return a positive value, regardless of the input is negative or positive. So we have here an example. The absolute value of 23.7 is 23.7. Same is true with 0, its absolute value is 0. For negative 23.7, ang i-return or i-display niyang value is its positive value, which is 23.7. Next, we have the ceil method having one parameter. It rounds x to the smallest integer not less than x. So, ibig sabihin, ang magiging result is i-round off niya yung value to the next largest integer. So, in the following example, we have math.ceil 9.2. Ang result is 10. Why? Because the next larger integer than 9 is 10. While we have here a negative value, So, ang next larger integer is negative 9. Next, we also have the cosine of x. It is the trigonometric cosine of x. So, if we have here a certain value, i-return niya yung result. So, in this example, we have the cosine of 0 is 1. For exp, we have the exponential value of x. So, i-return niya yung exponential value. For this example, we have 1 and the result is 2.71828. Same is true with 2, which is 7.38906. For mat.floor, wherein it rounds x to the largest integer not greater than x. For mat.floor naman, it is the less than or equal to the value of x. So in the following example, we have 9.2. So ang result niya is 9. Same is true in negative 9.8. Ang result is negative 10. Next, we also have the log of x, wherein it is the natural logarithm of x. So in this example, we have log or logarithm of mat that the exponential value, we have 1. And if we will multiply it twice, so the answer is 2. We also have the max and the mean method. So if we are comparing two values, it is better to use the max and the mean. So usually, ang ginagamit natin kapag ganitong example is the greater than or the lesser than. But here, we may now use the math class methods using max and mean. Take note, it has two parameters. So meaning, i-compare nyo yung dalawang values. So for max, the larger value, while for mean, it is the smaller value. So if we have here two values and ang ginamit ay max, i-return niya yung larger value. So we have 12.7. Same is true in negative 2.3 and negative 12.7. So the larger value is negative 2.3. That is for max. But for mean, ang i-return naman niya is the smaller value. So 2.3 and 12.7, ang i-return niya is 2.3. For negative 2.3 and negative 12.7, so ang minimum value dyan is negative 12.7. We also have the power, represented by the method pow, and x and y. The x here is the base, and y is the exponent. So, x raised to the power y. So, we have here an example, pow. So, 2 is your base, 7 is your exponent. So, 2 raised to 7, the answer is 128. We are using pow again, and then your base is 9, and your exponent is 0.5. So, 9 raised to 0.5, the result is 3. And we also have here random, meaning it returns the random number wherein it is absolutely system generated. So, ginagamit ang math.random if we are doing random numbers. Okay? Next, we also have sine and tangent. So, pagsamahin na natin yung sine and tangent. So, sine of x and tangent of x, wherein it is the trigonometric sine of x for sine and trigonometric tangent of x. So, i-return naman niya yung result nung sine at nung tangent. And lastly, we have the square root of x. So, i-return niya kung ano man yung square root nung x. So, in this example, we have square root of 900. So, the answer is 30. For example, square root of 49, the answer is 7. So, we have here example programs implementing the math class methods. So, yan yun. So, paano natin siya i-apply? Basta gamitin lang natin yung math dot the method. Okay, so in this example, we have the absolute value, the math seal, the exponential method, the math floor, the natural logarithm, the cosine of 180, sine and tangent, the maximum and minimum number of 34 and 52, the power of 3 raised to 4, and the square root of 121. So, kung i-run natin ito, so ito yung magiging values niya. So, ito yung magiging output. I-try na lang natin i-calculator, lalo na yung mga math na sine, cosine, and it is correct. Ang ma-check natin dyan is the maximum of 34 and 52. So, the answer is 52. For minimum between 34 and 52, so ang ni-return is 34. 3 raised to 4, so 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, so ang sagot is 81. And the square root of 121 is 11. So 11 times 11 is 121. So that is paano mag-work or paano ini-implement ang math class methods. Now, let's proceed to the methods of string class. So we have here some terminologies. We have character, a class whose instances can hold a single character value. It defines methods that can manipulate or inspect single character data. For string, it is a class for working with fixed string data that is unchanging data composed of multiple characters. So, yun yung difference ng character sa string. Pag character, just a single letter, while for string, these are set of characters. We also have here the StringBuilder and StringBuffer, wherein these are classes for storing and manipulating changeable data composed of multiple characters. So, we will explore more later how this works. So we have here operations on strings. So we have the first one. This is the common, which is joining strings. Kapag nag-join tayo ng strings, ang usually or common na ginagamit natin is the plus sign. So in this example, Merry Christmas plus Happy New Year. So nag-a-append or nag-join na yung two strings by the use of the plus sign. Next, we also have the checking the start and end of a string. So we have the use of starts with. So dito sa example na ito, nag-declare tayo ng string na too many gifts and na-store kay variable myString. I-identify kung yung string ba na yon ay nag-i-start ba sa 2. So paano? We use the conditional statement here if, and then myString, so ito yung variable na ginamit, that starts with. So, ang method natin is that starts with. So, this is lowercase except for W, which is uppercase. Enclosed in double quotation 2. So, kung ang sagot dito is true or ang condition dito is true, so ang ipiprint niya is the string that starts with 2. So that is that starts with. We also have that ends with. So here, same procedure, but here identifying if the words or the string value ends with gifts. So, ang ginamit naman doon is that ends with. Next, we have comparing strings. And we are using two types of methods. We have the first one, which is the equals method. It evaluates the content of two string objects to determine if they are equivalent. The method returns true if the objects have identical contents, meaning parehas na parehas yung content ng isang string value doon sa isang string value. So we have here an example code snippet. Since magko-compare tayo ng dalawang string, so we have variable name na ang value niya is macon with the uppercase M, and the variable name with ang string value naman niya is macon wherein lowercase lahat. So, ang gagamitin natin, magpe-perform tayo ng conditional statement, particularly the if-else condition. So, sa ating if, dun natin ilalagay yung condition. Paano? The first one is kung ano yung i-compare na isa, that the method equals, at sa loob ng parameter niya is yung isang i-compare din. So, in this example, name with the uppercase M and nem with all lower cases. So, kung ang condition na ito is true, pe-perform niya ito. But if it is false, pe-perform niya yung sa may second statement. We will analyze the description. The objects should have identical contents. So, meaning, ang magiging sagot natin dito or magiging output natin dito is the second statement. Meaning, it is not equal. Why? Because the case of the letter M. Next, we also have the equals ignore case. Sa equals ignore case naman, similar to equals method, but it ignores case when determining if two strings are equivalent. By the way, ang gamit ng equals method usually is for password. So, di ba pag nagta-type tayo or hinihingi yung password natin, dapat tignan kung uppercase or lowercase kasi hindi babasahin nung field. So, balik tayo sa equals ignore case. So, here we have an example, string name, Lucas, with a capital L, and name with Lucas with capital U and A. So, dito naman, kinumpare siya yung name. So, sa equals ignore case naman, take note, this is uppercase I and C. And then, sa loob pa rin yung i-compare din na isa pang string value. So, dito, regardless of the case, as long as they are equivalent, so ang ipe-perform niya is yung una, wherein it is equal, regardless of the case. Next, we have the changing the case. So, if we are going to change for the case, we have the two uppercase and the two lowercase. This is capital U and C, capital L and C. Convert any string to its uppercase or lowercase equivalent, respectively. So, in doing that, we have here an example, str1, which is something, and str2, which is beautiful. We are trying to convert that, the something, to uppercase. So, str1 dot to uppercase. So, ang magiging result na niyan is something in all caps. Same is true with str2 dot to lowercase. So, yung beautiful, ang magiging result na niyan is beautiful in lower cases. Next, we also have finding the length. We have the length method which returns the length of a string. So, bibilangin kung ilan yung character or kung ilan yung letters ng string. So, in this example, we have something as str1. So, str1.length. So, ang i-return niyang value is integer. Kasi nga, bibilangin niya. Integer value. So, in something that is something, so, ang length niya is 9. Next, we have the accessing individual characters. We have here char at and an int inside its parameter method, which requires an integer argument that indicates the position of the character that the method returns. So, we have here an example, string my name, the value is Stacy. So, i-identify niya kung ano yung character doon sa index or position na yun. So, we have my name. Ang ating value is Stacy. So, in the first one, that char at 0. Kapag sa isang string, ang index usually starts with 0. So, ang char at 0 natin is S. So, ang magiging sagot dito is S. Char at 1 naman, so 0, 1, so our output here is T. If in case yung index natin is, example, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Example, ang nilagay is that char at 5, there would be an index out of bounds exception. Magkakaroon ng runtime error. Kasi nga, walang naka-specify at index 5. Next, we also have accessing individual characters. We have here the index of and last index of, which determines whether a specific character occurs within a string. So, we have here an example. My name, ang value is party. So, ang ginamit, my name that index of A. So, i-return niya yung index ni A. So, ang magiging sagot dyan, 0, 1. So, ang sagot dito is 1. Next, my name that index of Q. So, walang Q dito sa ating string. Kapag wala yung character doon sa string, ang i-return niyang value is negative 1. Same is true with my name that last index of Y. So, bibilangin ulit niya 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ang sagot is 4. And lastly, last index of B, since wala ulit B doon sa word na party, ang i-return niya ulit na value is negative 1. Next, we have extracting substrings. So, in the substring method, takes two integer arguments, a start position and an endpoint, that are both based on the fact that a string's first position is position 0. Tama? So, kung naalala ninyo, string's first position is always 0. So, the length of the extracted substring is the difference between the second integer and the first integer. If you write the method without a second integer, the substring extends to the end of the original string. So we have here an example, str, yung value or yung variable na nag-hold ng string value, that substring, and yung parameter niya is the begin index, comma, the end index. So, para mas clear yung discussion dito, I have here a coding example. So, we have here an example implementing the substring method. So, ang ating value or string value dito is the word programming and stores in variable str1. So, para makita natin yung result, gumamit tayo ng system.out.println and we use our variable str1 the method substring. So, this 1 and 4 dito, this is the begin index and the end index. So, i-extract natin. So, tignan natin yung magiging output. So, ang output natin is rog. Why rog? So, tignan nyo, ang index natin is 1. So, this is 0, 1. So, mag-start tayo kay R. And then, mag-end tayo at 4. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, kung tutuusin, dapat ang magiging result is rog R. Bakit hindi kaya na i-display yung R? Okay. Kung babalikan nyo yung definition or description, the length of the extracted substring is the difference between the second integer and the first integer. So, ibig sabihin, 4 minus 1 is 3. Kaya, ang i-display lang niya is 0, 1, 2, 3. So, log lang. Mag-start siya kung saan yung nilagay na index at mag-end siya minus doon sa start or begin index. Replacing character within a string. Replace method allows you to replace all occurrences of some character within a string. So we have here an example, name Alvin. I-replace niya yung isang particular character. So we have, gumamit siya ng another variable that will hold for that new name. So ang ginamit niya is name, gamit doon kay Alvin, dot. So the method is dot replace. So yung first parameter is yung papalitan na character, and yung pangalawa is kung ano yung ipapalit. So, ang magiging output na niya, yung L, dito, mapapalitan ng R. Kaya ang magiging output na niyan is Arvin. In case walang nahanap na character, for instance, X, okay? X palitan ng R, wala namang character na X dito. So, ang magiging new name pa rin niya is Alvin. Next, converting any object to string. So, we can convert also objects to string. So, some sort of integer or double, pwede rin natin siyang i-convert to string. How? So, we use the toString method. It is useful when working with string objects. It converts any object to a string. So, we have here num, which is 4. So, gagamit lang tayo the keyword string, and then the name of the variable is equal to integer dot toString, and then yung variable nung integer. Same is true, we have num double. Ang value is 8.25, I should say. I-convert natin siya into string. So, same, string, space the variable na magiging value na later on ni num double is equal to double dot toString, and then yung variable na nag-hold nung double, which is num double. So, dito ang magiging result na is yung 4, dito na banda, yung 4 na ngayon ay string. Same is true kay 8.25. Considered na siya as string. So, kahit na maglagay ka dyan ng any operation, hindi na magpe-perform ng calculations. Ang mangyayari na lang is, maa-append na lang kasi nga, considered na siya as string. Next, we also have converting string to numbers. So, we have integer class and double class are examples of a wrapper, which is a class or object that is wrapped around a simpler element. So, dito naman, we are converting string to numbers. So, ito, yung 143 is a string value because it is enclosed in double quotation. So, paano naman ang conversion niyan? So, ilagay natin siya sa isang integer value since i-convert natin siya sa number. So, int num is equal to integer that parse int, and then sa loob is yung i-convert na string value. Or, pwede ring integer, then the variable is equal to integer that value of kung ano yung i-convert na string value. And then, int number is equal to num. So, yung num ay galing dito, that int value, open and close parenthesis. Okay? We also have here learning about StringBuilder and StringBuffer classes. We have here append method. So, let's you add characters to the end of a StringBuilder object. So, paano tayo mag-declare for StringBuilder? Parang mag-a-append tayo. So, instead na gagamit tayo ng plus sign to append two strings, pwede rin natin gamitin yung append method. So, we use the StringBuilder. So, i-take note natin yung mga syntax. So, capital S and B. And then, yung ating reference is SumBuilder is equal to new StringBuilder, and then yung unang word na pagsasamahin natin. Say for instance, we have happy, and then idudugtong natin yung birthday. So, paano? We will use the reference na create natin dito, which is SumBuilder. .append. So, gunamit na natin yung append na method. And then, sa loob nun is kung ano yung i-append or idudugtong mo doon sa naunang word which is happy. So, ang magiging value na niya is happy birthday. We also have the insert method. So, lets you add characters at a specific location within a StringBuilder object. So, name of string.insert and then yung format niya ito, index, characters to be added. So, here, example, StringBuilder, then ang reference ulit natin is SumBuilder is equal to new StringBuilder. The word is happy birthday. Okay? So, idadagdag natin yung 30th. Parang gawin natin happy 30th birthday. Ay, paano natin i-insert yung 30th? So, we use the reference SumBuilder.insert and then sa unang argument or unang parameter kung saang index nyo siya i-insert. So, in this example, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yung space. So, pang 6. Okay? So, kabilang yung space sa mga index. So, at 6. And then, ang second parameter na is yung i-add mo. Say, for instance, 30th. So, ang magiging value na niya ngayon is happy 30th birthday. And lastly, we have the setchart. For setchart, allows you to change a character at a specified position within a StringBuilder object. It requires 2 arguments. Sorry, this should be 2 as in TWO. So, it requires 2 arguments, an integer position, and a character. So, ito yung format niya, the name of the string, that's setchart, the index, and the character. So, for example, papalitan natin tong happy 30th birthday ng happy 40th birthday. So, palitan lang natin tong 3 ng 4. So, paano? We have the SumBuilder using the reference .setchart. So, bilangin ulit natin. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yung space 6. So, palitan natin yung pang-anim. So, 6, kung ano yung ipapalit natin. So, gawin natin 40th. So, enclose siya in single quotation since this is a character, so 4. So, ang magiging output na niya is happy 40th birthday. So, that sums up our discussion on the fundamental and optional classes, preferably on the predefined methods, the math class methods, the use of string, characters, and StringBuilder. That is the end of my video lecture. Next lesson is the topic on encapsulation and inheritance in Java.